Okay, let's get going. Really it's a short episode. Let's see, there's a lot of text for me to look at, so somehow I feel like there's more for me to look at than before. But we'll see, we'll see. Okay, we should be all set to go. Very nice. Okay, so we finished episode 1 last time. Our heroes managed to chase away the bad guys for the most part. And now the town is regrouping and they're going to launch an attack back at the camp. So that's what I'm looking at. I was trying to see the order of play here for us with the camp. So that's our story. Half dragon. So the first thing I want to do is decide what happened to Linan and her kids. Husband was killed in the combat that our players encountered them in. Nothing they could do, but they did manage to save the other 3, and so we're hoping something bad didn't happen to them. So let's think about how we could decide what happens. Lots of cultists running around, lots of prisoners. The missions, I don't know. I would say that they have a decent chance of being alive. So maybe we should make a table. Alive, but captured. Alive in the town. They're alive in the town. They're alive but captured. They're alive in the keep. They're dead somewhere to be found. And they're dead. Well, they're just, no, I guess we wouldn't say dead, we'd just say missing. They're just missing. So, let's have a d20 so that they're dead somewhere to be found, or they'll be found. I'm gonna give it a pretty small percentage, like 1 or a 2, maybe. It's a 10% chance. I think alive, but I mean the cultists are after sacrifices and loot, so that should be a pretty good chance. So let's do missing as also like 3 to 4. Let's say 3 to 5 just to make my numbers even. And then alive but captured is 6 to 10. 20%, that sounds about right. Alive in the town, 11 through 15. And alive in the keep, 16 through 20. Okay, so let's roll a d20 to see what happened to them. First roll of the day, here we go. It's a 2. Oh no. Oh, the dice are cruel, cruel gods. Okay, so they are dead. And they have to be found, and they will be found somewhere to be dead. Okay. We roll the 2. So on a roll of 2, her and her kids will be discovered somewhere dead by, let's roll a d4, and it's even. The players discover them, odd NPCs, villagers discover them. Oh, odd villagers discover them. Okay. and some were dead by a few villagers while they are cleaning up, repairing the town after the attack. There we go. Okay, so poor Lan. I don't think she's another NPC, just maybe you can correct me, but if we need her to be alive, we can do that, but I don't know if she's an important NPC or not. So I think we can just leave it at that. But yeah. So that should be good. Okay. So missing. Okay, so that takes care of that. That'll finish up the last bit of that going forward. And now let's look at the raider camp. So we need a new note. Do episode 2. Raider camp. Oop. Raider camp. Oops, no, I don't need to do that. I need to make a new one. And I need to click on this. There's one thing about Fantasy Grounds that as I'm getting used to it, is that I really wish there wasn't like right-clicking and selecting from a wheel all the time. I wish there was some like just a button, like plus button right here, add. She doesn't appear in the books again later. Okay, good, good. I didn't kill anybody I wasn't supposed to. That would have been bad. Okay, so let's get our raider camp notes going. So let's make this smaller so I can put my notes next to them. There we go. Just always with the perfect time. So to decide what to do beyond the attack and why the town was the target, the raiders retreated towards the southeast and their trail is easy to spot. A small stealthy group could follow the trail of raiders to the raiders' camp and gather information. If they locate the raiders' camp and find out certain information, he will pay them 250 gold apiece. Wow. He wants to know where the camp is sited, how many raiders there are, and who their leaders are. What motivates their attacks, blah 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 blah. Recovering treasure, however, is a lesser goal than should be brought up. Oops. It brings up. So we'll do that later. So our quest. So let's go to our party sheet. And XP, we have some quests. Let's drag the quest of person in so that it's worth let's recover valuables. Okay, so it's, I don't think it's worth any XP, it's just worth gold. So we'll have to remember that if they once they complete it. Okay, so we have that. Nisa. Okay, and then there's another one. Artwork, Raiders Camp. That must be the guy we have to save. Right there. Any supplies the characters need for the trip will be furnished by the town as the characters prepare to set off for the mission or leave town. If they turn down the mission, though, an injured monk approaches. Okay, so as the party leaves for the mission, first, sorry, we had something before that. They heal and resupply. They heal and resupply. So let's go to our party sheet. I don't think, oh, yep, they're all still pretty badly injured. That's right, because Boris got knocked out by the fighter. That's why he's injured. So they still haven't had a long rest, which is interesting. So I'm giving them, as the GM, lots of heals, but they have no chance to regain spells, which is really hurting some of them quite a bit, I think. Because they can't use some of their biggest hitters. I think they do get a short rest, so we'll let Boris use his action surge again, but that's about it. Approaches. Okay, a young man walks up to you. He has lots to say. They are approached by a monk. An injured monk. An injured monk. Okay, and he says things like this. As a young man walks up to you, limping heavily on his bandaged left foot, I hear that you intend to follow the raiders and see where they've gone. I'd like nothing better than to come with you, but in this condition, I'd slow you down. In the midst of all this tragedy, there's no reason that you should have heard about the fate of my master, Eosin Erlanthar, but it's important you know. He's a monk from Burdusk. He disappeared last night after we fought a particularly savage battle against the raiders. After a few others and I fought our way to the keep barely, Leosin didn't make it at all. We went back this morning to look for him, but all we found was his broken staff and this choker, which he always wears. The monk's name is Nasim Waladra, and after introductions are made, he continues. So this is the nice part, we can copy some text. He introduces himself to the party. Has been investigating these raiders for months. I fear that he might have tried to infiltrate their group when they retreated, or worse, was captured and carried away as a prisoner. No one understands these bandits better than he does, and his knowledge will be invaluable against them. When you find their camp, please look for any sign that Leosin is there. One of my brothers has already departed for Burdusk to bring back help, but it will be many days before help arrives. Anything you can do before then would be a godsend. Very nice. Okay, sounds good. He answers the questions to the best visibility that the characters might have. Probably the party asks some questions. What kind of questions do you think are good to ask? What does he look like? What does he look like? How powerful is he? Powerful / strong. Is he? Something like that. There we go. Ability. The monk will be returning to Burdusk from the great library at Candlekeep. We're returning. Where Leosin was consulting the libraries and researching ancient writings on dragon folklore. Dragon cultists are his special interest. The broken staff is nothing special, but the choker is a braided leather neckband with a silver dragon design chased into the leather. The ends are ragged as though it was torn off. Ooh, doesn't sound good. Okay, so we have another quest. Find Leosin. So let's go to our party sheet. Our XP. Okay, so we need to drag this quest. I think we can remove, delete. We should is there a way to clear all of them? Oh yes, there is. Oop. Delete item, confirm delete. Double click. There we go. All those old missions we don't need clogging up. That was chapter 1. We're on chapter 2. So, we have to find the missing monk. He would be a valuable resource to learn about the cult. Okay, sounds good. So, some information about the Cult of the Dragon ranks. They have active recruiting process, accepting issues at a young age. They train for months before gaining some stats, improved stats. They have affinity particular color of dragon, and then is welcomed into the rank as a dragon claw. The higher ranks of the cult in ascending order: Dragon Claw, Dragon Wing, Fang, Soul, and Worm Speaker. There are only 5 Worm Speakers, 1 per color of chromatic dragon. The current Worm Speaker are Severin, Galvan, Duranvane, Resmir, and Varam. Okay, and Varam. And Varam. Most of the cult's operations are overseen by local leaders, the wearers of purple. All Worm Speakers are also wearers of purple, as our lower cultists appointed by the Worm Speakers to preside over cult enclaves. Sounds good. So, we need to track our next thing is we need to track the raiders. How strong is he? They set off following the easy trail left by the cultists. Rex is probably the lead, because he's a hunter and his tracker. He doesn't need to use much of his skill because they're not that good. But it is better if he is the one leading the group. Even if his skills are not really required because of the easy trail. Okay, so they set off. So the raider's path is easy to follow. A wide swath of grass is trampled down, but it's impossible to determine the raiders' numbers precisely. The path only confirms that what the characters already know. There are a lot of them. Mix of human, kobolds, and trained reptiles. It's a good line. We need that. Let's see. One bit of information that can be gleaned from a successful DC 15 wisdom check. Many of the beast's footprints are deeper on the retreat than they were on the approach. Way down by the loot, of course. Oh, hey, Game On, Steve. Nice to see you again. We're just getting into episode 2. Haven't missed much. Crumbling. So we need to make Rex. Needs to make a perception check. Nope. He's tracked a lot of stuff, but not too much. So he doesn't get any extra information about that. It's not possible to tell the confusing jumble of prints about any specific footprints of who the prisoners might be. The trail south is about 12 miles to a more rugged region with steep-sided rocky plateaus replacing the gently rolling hills. Broken. Okay. So travel stuff, distance, surroundings. The crumbling sides of the plateau are dotted with caves and tumbled boulders and tumbled boulder fields. Man, this writing is really hard to read. Characters have 2 encounters during the trip. Ooh. The first is with a group of raiders that have been who have straggled behind the main body. What? Who have been straggling behind, who are straggling behind, who are stragglers. They are disorganized and quarrelsome, and they should be easy prey for alert adventurers. The second group is an organized rear guard watching specifically for pursuers from the town. They present a much graver threat. Okay, so we get our first encounter. Is the stragglers. The characters spot this group's cooking fire from several miles away. So, Rex smells / spots a camp a few, there's 12 miles. So a few miles up the trail. And the players try to quietly approach. Okay. There are 4 human cultists and 8 kobolds. They don't like each other and they're fighting. Okay. Okay, so we have lots of text for this one. Okay, they watch. Let's see how successful the party is at being stealthy. Stealth check, DC 10. Boris and Catherine, not even a DC 10. So they're not too quiet with their heavy armor. They're not used to trying to be quiet. But the other 2 do pretty well. Again, Boris and Catherine are not very quiet, but the enemy does not seem to notice due to infighting and trying to make lunch. We'll say it's by afternoon by now, for sure. Okay. Noons. If the group is left alone, the share off the... Okay, so let's pull up our map. Here we go. Here's our map. And let's put on our tokens from our encounter. So we need to go to this. I need to clear menu, delete all non-friendlies, rest, long rest. Okay, hopefully that didn't reset the party. I'm not in it, so I think it should be okay. Okay, so we need to... I got rid of it. We need to drag our cultists. Oh, we dragged the whole thing. Okay, cultists and kobolds. Oh, it put them on the map. That's interesting. Or did I do that? I don't know who... Is that an automatic feature? That's pretty good, because I have been doing it manually before for some reason. So, it says... Maybe if I drag the encounter onto the map, that's what does it. Okay, it says if their group is left alone, which they do, they're watching them carefully. They're squabbling over how to cook. And the kobolds move away. Sounds good. Oh, I think it put the tokens on the map automatically. It randomly dropped them on the map. Unless it's tied to this map, which means it did it for me. Either way, it's really nice. They're left alone. Oops. Okay, stragglers, the characters attack unless they give away their presence on purpose. Ah, that's why it was easier. Because I was using, this is the first time we've used a map designed for this module. The before were just us using maps to do whatever. Ah, that's great. I like having everything on the map ahead of time. So as the players watch, we should add our players to our thing. Catherine Mara and Rex. There we go. So as our, where do you think? I think they're going to be hiding in the trees over here. Something like that. Hiding in the trees. Yeah, players have to be NPCs, but great for presetting when the NPCs are. And I like how on this one, it's really easy to turn on or off the visibility. I can just be like, boop. So he just appears next to you. Let's see if it works. Where's Kobold number 1? There he is. He's blinking when I turn him on or off. It's pretty cool. I think that's easier to do than Roll20. I like to draw a box and tell the players to set up in that box, and then only make them visible, and the players can't see them. Yeah, I think the new Fantasy Grounds Unity is going to have like line of sight and dynamic lighting and everything. I think it does, but I don't think this version. I have the regular version of Fantasy Grounds, and you have to do it with boxes and shading and stuff like that. Yeah, I really want to see how that works, but I have to wait for the new one to maybe go on sale or something, but I don't know when they're going to do that. Okay, so yeah, it has like mask, which you can like cover up squares, and you can slowly reveal squares like bit by bit. But that's all it has, so yeah, me too. When they put Fantasy Grounds Unity on sale, I will upgrade, and I'm thinking about upgrading to the Ultimate so that I don't have to worry about my my friends having it or not. I can be the one just to do it. So very good. Okay, I turned off. Where am I? I turned off some. Make everybody visible, please. Thank you. We are tracking the raiders, so they're 50 yards away. 50 yards basically means the kobolds are not on the map, essentially. Oops, that's a cultist. So they're over here, and they will come in at round 4. Can I highlight and nope. I was wondering if I could highlight a group of tokens. I don't think there's a way to resize drawing. No. Yeah, but 50 yards is like 150 feet, and this map is not 150 feet across. So, for the sake of just the map, they're over here minding their own business, eating their dinner, and we are drop their food and scatter, regroup, and counterattack on round 4. So the players the party wait for the fight to die down and the kobolds to go away, and then they attack. Okay, so they get a surprise round because that's what it says, but let's roll initiative for oops. Initiative, roll all initiative. Oh my god, the NPCs rolled unbelievably well. Joy. Okay, so kobolds skip their turns for the first 4 rounds, but Boris is the first to act. Oh, of course I can't go up to Boris. He's the first. And let's see, what's Boris going to do? Let's say the cultists are around the fire, like so. I think Boris 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah. I think Boris... Wait a minute. Boris is kind of reckless, right? Notes. Yeah, he's reckless. I think he sees the 4 cultists by themselves. He can take them. He's going to run up. And he is going to target this guy. And he is going to attack with his great axe. And miss. Oh boy. Okay. Rex's turn. Rex is going to target this guy. And they resupplied, so we can get rid of our arrows. And he's going to shoot. Hit. So far these guys are pretty weak. We haven't used his special abilities like Hunter's Mark. No, they all die in one hit if he actually hits them. Extra thorn damage and then not grouped up really. Sorry, so he needs to do damage. Oh, heavy damage, didn't kill him. Catherine is going to run up too. Get in here. I think she is going to take on this guy, this first cultist. And mace. Hit. She should be able to finish him. There we go. Drops 1 on the opening sneak attack. And then Mara will shoot this guy. I'm gonna move to the edge of the trees. She is going to use her famous Eldritch Blast. He's going to cast. That's a hit. Good job. Oops, I rolled damage twice. He was dying anyways. She rolled a 10 on the first one and killed him. So they drop 2 right away, even though Boris misses. Where's my notes? Attack. Boris and Catherine run in to engage, while Rex, forgot his name for a second, while Rex and Mara, I'm forgetting their names, Rex and Mara launch ranged attacks. They manage to kill a few. Let's be precise. To kill 2 in the surprise round. Okay. Now, round 2. Kobolds are away. Cultist number 4. Grab his... Did it say they spend a turn? Scatters... Okay. So he will come up, target the first person he sees. 5 misses. Haha, sucker. Kobold, cultist number 1. I think he's gonna come over here and there, because she is the closest to both of them, so. Ooh, that's a hit. And damage. Ouch, max damage. Gotta hate when that happens. Kobold. Cultist dead. Boris. I'm gonna come over around here behind this guy. He's going to attack him. This great axe, 18. There we go. That's some. Oops, I need his damage. Ooh, max damage on a d12. That'll drop you. Rex will peek out at the. Oops, hang on. Not to peek out at the last guy. His longbow, 11, that's a hit, plus 7, what? Oh yeah, because now he has his archery bonus. Is that correct? Seems like it's higher than before. Am I just forgetting what he does? Oh, that's right, bonus to attack. And oops, we need his damage. Oh, he doesn't kill him, he keeps hitting them with arrows and not killing them. What's wrong with you? Rex, we need you to be one-shotting these guys. There we go. Kobold. Cultist is dead. Catherine is pretty wounded. Took a big hit. But she'll return the favor. Hopefully. Nope, she won't. Yeah, I think that blow over the head cost her. Mara's target. Eldritch Blast. A natural 1. Come on. Okay, this is round 3. So if they can't kill this one guy this round... Oh, this cultist 1 had a turn. I skipped him. He is going to attack Catherine. Oh, a crit. That's not good. Crit us. We can never crit them. Heavy damage, does 6. Ouch. Kobold, kobold, kobold. Boris. Finish this dude. Stop him before he manages to crit Catherine again and kill her. 19? That's a good hit. Oops, I keep closing that before I do the damage. There we go, he's down. Whew, so I guess because we killed them in 3 rounds, the kobolds don't bother to come in. Sounds good. Alright. They run off, seeing what just happened. So menu, we need to remove all non-friendlies from the track. There we go. And they disappear. Okay, so let's write that up. 2 kills. They exchange a few blows. One gets a good hit on Catherine before Boris kills him from behind. Rex's arrows do damage, but are not, sorry, my mouse, are not enough to kill any of them. He apologizes to Catherine after, because like I should have killed him. I'm sorry, like if I would have dropped him, you wouldn't have been hit so bad, Catherine. He should have got that one. So no worries. I forget what the party has. That's why I love the party sheet. What do they have in their inventory? Who has potions of healing? Boris has 2 potions of healing. So I think he is going to give one. How bad is... Oops, how bad is... Oh man, she is really bad off. Yeah, so... +2, 2d4 +2 for a potion of healing. Straight up the middle. There we go. So she gets 6 points. So 13 minus 6 is 7. She's still wounded. Took a couple of big hits. But she's doing okay. Boris gives Catherine a potion. So we need to take that off his sheet. He's only got one now. To heal up before grabbing some of the food and eating. Yeah. I don't think they need to take a short rest. Like, they didn't really use much except for her HP. She got knocked down a bit, but that fight went pretty well. I was hoping they would have killed one or two more in the opening, but nope, they managed to do it just fine. Okay, so there goes the encounter. They take a breather and then head off, continuing to continue to follow the trail to the camp. There we go. What about our kobolds? We forgot about them. A few blows. Boris and Mara see some kobolds at the edge of the clearing, but when they kill the last one, they drop, they turn and disappear. No longer loyal to the cultists. Yeah, there's no need to risk our lives for them, so they'll head on out. Okay, so let's go back to our story of the tracking the raiders. So that was our first encounter. Okay, and so the stragglers. Okay, reward XP for the foes. So go to our party. XP. Encounter stragglers. And award. Ooh, 800. They're closing in on level 3. That's when they all get their special powers. I think if we hit level 3 today, we're going to have to stop and do lots of thinking and planning about leveling up. So, sounds good. If any cultists or questions, nope. And describe location camp. Plus they know some prisoners were taken. I think they just dropped them too fast. They know walk freely, but they don't capture any of them. The cultists have 8 silver pieces. 28 silver pieces among them. Besides their cheap weapons, if the kobolds aren't looted, so there we go. So we can divide that evenly to the party. Yeah, evenly. 7, 7, 7, 7. Very nice. I like that system a lot. Really nice to divide up the loot evenly. But alright, okay. So that deals with that. Okay, now it's time for the real guard. Oh, loot. Oh, a kobold sack, but they don't get that because the kobolds ran away. Okay, rear guard. If the characters are in the camp and they can use information to bypass this encounter entirely. Nope, they didn't bypass it. No. Should have taken prisoners? Question mark. They are after info. After all, not just killing them, but it seems, yeah, seems in the rush of the moment, if I can type, they forgot. Okay, so now it's time for the rear guard encounter. Oh god, this looks pretty bad. So, the rear guard. Remove link, remove link. So it is when I put it into the combat tracker. The veteran and cultists have spears for both range and melee. They are positioned in an area where the trail winds through a gap between two outcrops. The ambushers are hidden in the rocks, 12 to 15 feet above the ground. Characters might detect the ambush, but the odds depending on what they know and how they approach the area. So they know nothing. Oh, sure enough, it puts it in it for us. Good. But they didn't put anybody in an ambush. It's interesting. Maybe it is an ambush, they're waiting, so... let's see. Get rid of that. If the stragglers described the ambush to the characters, they'll recognize it from away. They didn't. Haven't been warned of the rear guard. Someone spots a face peering down from above with a successful D20 perception check, but not until they're within 20 yards. If players state that they're watching for potential ambush, give them advantage when making the check. Okay, so let's have the party. Let's see, this should work. If I put advantage here, I put party, skill check, perception, DC 20, and roll. It did roll lots of dice. Oh, Catherine made it! So you can see it dropped the lowest, gave them advantage, versus DC 20, and Catherine was the only one to succeed. She manages to see the face. Rex was really close, he got a 19, but not quite. Yeah, okay, very nice. So, let's go to our notes. As they follow the trail, they come to a bend in the road. And Catherine, see, the thing is, they talk about these rocks high above, but as you notice, there's no rocks in this map. So there are some limitations. So I think we're gonna put veteran over here. This should give them a good... This is close enough, the best we can do for our trap. Some cultists hiding in the trees with an acolyte back here. That's our trap. So 20, what's it, 20 yards away? Is that what it said? Stragglers, rear guard, not within 20 yards, so that's 150 feet. If the players state that they're watching, give them advantage. Stop any small party of intruders coming up the trail or harass and delay larger groups. The guard decides that he has enough of an advantage against a party of 5 or 6 adventurers to deal with the problem on the spot. If the adventuring group contains 7 or more characters, nope, we're not playing that big of a party. Blah, blah, blah. If the characters walk into the trap, they don't. Tumble boulders on their head? No. Okay, so they do manage to stop. But I think what happens is spots faces in the forest, in the horses along the rock face, and sounds the alarm. I learned today, well, not today, I learned, what was it, yesterday? That the root of the word alarm is to arms. So like the alarm was an old word for calling people to arms, like as in to get their weapons. Which is pretty cool, which makes it perfect. So when you sound the alarm, everybody grabs their weapons. I think it's an old French term or something like that. Word etymology is interesting to me. Okay, so we're set up. Alarm. This, we don't need 2 spaces. This causes the cultists to attack. Okay, round 2. Here we go, guys. Another combat. This is a real combat. We have a veteran and an acolyte, and they can be pretty deadly against our party. So let's see. Combat tracker. He has 58 HP. Good God. So Boris, Rex, Catherine, and Mara. So we'll say to begin with, they're pretty far away because they did spot them. Oops, I need the combat tracker. They did spot them, thanks to an unbelievable roll by Catherine. Menu, roll initiative for all people. Oh good, Rex. Oh, we get to go early. Oh, we don't need a boulder attack. They don't get the sneak attack, so there is no boulder. Okay, so everyone is visible, and they're surrounded pretty much. Actually, let's put them up a little bit. Kind of, they're more trapped. Something like this. I mean, 20 yards is 150 feet, so they have to be like way back here. The map sizes don't really work with this. Okay, that'll have to do. Okay, so yeah, so we'll get them there. Okay, and then we start our combat. So Rex goes first. He's probably scanning. Catches the nearest guy. Because how far is that? That's 70 feet. So that's quite a ways, and it's still within range of his bow, though. So he'll do his longbow attack. 15, that's a hit. See if he actually drops this guy. Nope. Because he keeps rolling 3s on his attack roll. Come on. We gotta get these guys. We gotta get them. Okay, so then... Oops. It was already on Mara's turn. Okay, cultist number 1, where are you? Oh, you were the guy who just got hit. There you go. The cultists don't have ranged weapons, right? Oh, they do have spears. These guys have spears. And they can launch at 20 feet or 60 feet? So I think he is going to... Can he move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? Yeah. How do we think they're going to do this? What do you think? Game on? Just, what do you guys think? How are the cultists going to approach this fight? Are they just going to rush disorganized into the fight? Or what? Because they're all kind of scattered around. I put these guys scattered. I should put them closer because that makes better sense for the game, I think. Come on. They don't know anything about the party. It says in the thing, Game On, that the veteran is the leader, and he thinks he can take a party of four PCs pretty easily. So they are arrogant, I guess. Right? Yeah, they don't trick the trap. So the guard decides that he has enough an advantage to take on a party of up to 5 or 6 adventurers. So they probably just rush in. Yeah, okay. They probably just head on in. So this guy's gonna rush 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can't get close enough. I guess I don't know if they'll double rush. Yeah, they're confident. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. They'll double move. They're just gonna rush them down. Battle standard. Veteran. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. That's all he needs. These are the real cultists too, because we've been fighting a mix of mercenaries and kobolds and cultists, and these are the actual hardcore fanatical cultists, just like you say. So definitely. Oh yeah, if the boss says run, they just run as fast as they can. Yep, okay, Mara's turn. This poor cultist who's rushing at him is definitely going to get targeted by her. And that's a hit, and she'll probably kill him even with a 1. Yep. So he runs up, arrow, one shoulder, Eldritch Blast to the chest, and just collapses with his forward momentum on the ground. Yeah, I like that. Oops, that's the wrong one. I need this one. An attack. They rush the party, thinking they can take them, no problem. Run. Cultist is dropped by a combo of arrow and Eldritch Blast. Ah, that's a good idea, that they react to it as they go along. Yeah, there's a dodge or ready action if you want them to be more strategic. Yeah, but if they double move, they can't take it. So maybe that's what the next guy does. The Acolyte, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Roll all with this. Yeah, but the thing is, if you roll all the enemies with the same initiative roll, it gets like twice as deadly for the PCs. Because it's about action economy, right? So before the players get a single action to like heal or duck or take anybody out, they have to face like what in this encounter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actions by the enemy. So it's 7 to 1, right? Which makes it really hard. If you break them up, it's more like 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or something, and that's much more manageable and less deadly to a party. So it depends on how hard it's going to be. Oops, sorry, I knocked something over. If you roll them all together, know it's going to be way more deadly to your party for sure. But if you want that, that's a great way to do it. So he is going to take the dodge action. Is there a way to give him like a... We'll turn him sideways. He's dodging. Or something. Give him a status or something. Ah, okay. So you kind of do a homebrew initiative order. Yeah, because sometimes, yeah, like if the NPCs, the enemies roll like a 20 on initiative, then they all get to go first. The party will be dead before they even get to do anything. But so he's gonna take the dodge action. Oh, he has spells. Yeah, especially if there's one character out front, then they get everything. He has spells. Maybe he can use a spell from range. Let's see. He has Sacred Flame, Thaumaturgy, Bless, Cure Wounds, and Sanctuary. That won't really work. I think he should use... We haven't used a spellcaster before. I think we should definitely. So... each type of enemy is divided up too. Okay. So the minions go first, then the boss kind of thing. Okay. That makes it a little bit nicer. I think he is going to target Catherine. Poor Catherine. He has a cantrip. Oh, he can heal them too. This is going to be a long fight. Buckle in, boys. This is going to be a long one. We have a healer on the enemy team.